Indiana Hoosiers Live 56. It's the bye-week extravaganza too, and we had to do it bigger than the first one. So we went and we got buffed in prime T-Cow. T-Cow, welcome to the show.
Appreciate you having me on, fellas. Appreciate y'all having me on.
Dude, of course. I mean, when I first started diving like full blown into this Indiana team, you were one of the first people who started popping up onto my timeline. If you're an Indiana football fan, if you know our show, watch our show, you understand what you mean to our universe, the Burnerverse, and all that good stuff. And so, yeah, this is one we've wanted to make happen for a while. So super pumped you could join us tonight.
Yes, sir.
Right, how you feeling? You pumped up?
Feeling great. Yeah, T-Cow's here. I'm ready to jump into some questions. I know Keezer's got a lot of stuff prepared.
Let's do it.
And yeah, let's bounce stuff off each other. I call myself the master of the eye test. Kind of stretches beyond football for me a little bit. I'm a big hoops head as well. So, yeah, excited to learn really from you in terms of kind of how you evaluate players and what you look for in terms of what I should be looking at when I'm, bumming out on my couch on Saturdays.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll start because it's very obvious you love football. You wouldn't be doing what you do if you didn't love football. So where does that love of ball come from?
Man, since I was a kid, I started playing when I was 7. Was a high school All-American as a running back and safety. I grew up playing mainly quarterback, but when I found out I wasn't going to get taller than 5'10", I was like, okay, that's going to be hard to make it to the league doing that. So moved to running back and safety. Had a lot of scholarships for both. Ended up choosing to play safety. And one of my smaller scholarships, University of Nevada, is where I chose because it wasn't too far from home. At the time, Chris Alt was there, who invented the pistol offense. If you remember, that's when Nevada beat Boise State when Boise State was on a run. So I was like,
Kaepernick.
Exactly. So I was like, I want to go there and, be a part of what they have going on. Chris Alt retired like a week before signing day. So that was tough. Got a coach that didn't fit with me at all with my personality. Then at that time, there's no transfer portal. This is 2015. And the only way to be eligible immediately, you had to go down a level. So a coach that recruited me to Nevada had the head coaching job at Alabama A&M, which is FCS. And he said, hey, whatever position you want, you're the starter if you come here. I said, okay, bet. That's where I'm going. So I did my last 2 years at Alabama A&M was all-conference preseason HBCU All-American. And then after that was in camp with the Atlanta Falcons. And then most recently, a few years ago, I played in, I think it's the UFL now. It was the USFL. Before that, when I played, it was called the Spring League. And we played in Indiana, actually. We played at Lucas Oil 6 games.
Oh, yeah.
And, I've been in love with football like my entire life. And it was tough when I knew I wasn't going to, play any further. And I was out of it. Like I was completely out of football. Coach Prime got the job at Jackson State. Jackson State is in the same conference I played in when I was at Alabama A&M. So I was pumped about that, watching that, and then got the Colorado job. And then last year we started our podcast, Buffed and Prime, and that's when I started watching, tape and getting back into football. Like I didn't watch games, like I didn't root for nobody. So last year was my first year getting back, and I loved it. And I didn't realize, like, I just thought I had stupid teammates before. So I didn't realize I saw the game so much different than everybody else and on a different level. Like CT, the fan, my brother would tell me that, but he's never played at the levels I played at. So of course he would think that. But then all these players are reaching out to me. Coach Prime reached out to me in January, told me he needed me on staff and said, what job do you want to do? And I was like, I guess I am really, really good at this stuff.
Wait, so I don't want to cut you off, but so that came recent because I was going to say, like, when did you realize you became that, like, we're at that different level? Because, like, obviously to be a high school All-American, to be a college All-American, to get to the places you got to, and to be like the camp invite with the Falcons, like you have to both love the game, but then understand, have the football IQ at a next level. So you're saying that you didn't even realize that you thought the game at the next level until last year?
Yeah, like when I was playing I had a lot of bad coaching, and a lot of things I've done in my life. Like I'm in real estate now. I own 14 properties, and I'm a realtor. It's all self-taught. So that was what I was having to do football-wise, which sucked because I'm playing college football. Like my coaches should be, the ones that are, helping me understand better. But really just, self-teaching myself and learning how to actually watch film, learning how to study it. And then last season, when Colorado's playing these games, I'm breaking down all their opponents before they play. So I'm knowing what plays are going to happen just off the formation and everything like that. And that's when I was like, oh, I really do see this at a different level. And then obviously Coach Prime reached out to me to offer me a job strictly from my YouTube. Like that's crazy.
Well, I mean, listen, you're going to be right as often as you are, and you look at the like BIP's list and the guys you tweet out and the guys you hit your wagon to, and like your resume is really damn good. Like, I want to talk specifically about D'Lo, and I started to watch like the beginning of like your video of like being like Colorado and Coach Prime should be going after this kid, and you're just like, I watched 3 plays and like I saw everything I needed to see. So how did D'Angelo Pons pop on your radar, and how does that start?
Got you. So we had just started the channel. People had just started seeing my all 22 breakdowns, and like people were hyped. Like channel was growing like crazy. And then I got on Twitter, and then my Twitter was growing like crazy, and everybody was, asking me to evaluate people in the transfer portal, like for Colorado as fans. So I'm looking at guys in the transfer portal just to see, who's good, who's not. And I saw a tweet saying freshman All-American D'Angelo Pons from James Madison enters the transfer portal. And I'm like, okay, let me see what he's about. So they call me Black Market TCal. I go find some James Madison film, and I'm watching the film, and I saw 3 plays, and I started tweeting. I said, hey, this is a guy. Like, he's special. And it was James Madison versus maybe Marshall. I'd have to go back and look. But I'm watching it, and as the game keeps going on, it just keeps getting better and better. And I remember how I was as a true freshman. I was not ready, mentally mainly. So being able to see D'Angelo Pons as a true freshman, what he was able to do, I told people thought I was crazy. I was like, this is a superstar cornerback. They're like, oh, he's 5'9". I'm like, no, this is a superstar. I promise you. And I was trying to get Colorado to offer him, but Colorado won't offer any DBs under 5'11", which is crazy because you missed out on a first rounder, the best cornerback in college football. And that's what kind of propelled things further as far as my growth was people seeing that, because nobody was saying that when I was saying it. And D'Angelo reached out to me, and he was like, hey, man, I really appreciate, everything you do, and you showing the film. It was like, I've been overlooked my entire life. So being able to finally get recognition for it is awesome. And he said, by the way, Colorado didn't reach out to me. I'm like, that's great. Yes.
I thank God every day for that, because if Dion, how do you say, if you're a defensive back, and I try and put myself, I've never been in that situation, right? But if I'm an elite defensive back and Deion Sanders picks up the phone, what do you say to that guy?
Exactly. And yes. Right. And me and D'Angelo ended up getting really close. So now, I'm sure you saw the screenshot I sent him before the Oregon game. The text message I sent him, and I told him, I said, you guys are going to get an interception because Dante Moore does not see the secondary defenders. So certain games, I'll send him things I'm seeing on film of teams, but I don't got to mess with D'Lo too much. He's locked in. I have some players across college football that I mentor. One of the other ones, Colton Hood, another guy I was first on, and both semifinalists for the Jim Thorpe Award. That's pretty crazy.
It's just TCal guys all over the bracket.
Right. Yeah. That's where we're trying to get to, man. There's some other players that I mentor that people will find out about after the season. And yeah, man, it's been a crazy ride.
Hell yeah, dude. And dude, watching, you were just there in person, and I want to get to that in a second, but watching D'Angelo play in person is a treat. That dude flies. You point out his track speed all the time. super, super impressive player. D'Angelo isn't the only person on this Indiana football team you have a connection to. Specifically in this 2025 portal class, we had Lewis Moore, we had Hosea Wheeler, Stephen Daly, Khalil Benson. Can you kind of talk about each of those guys and just kind of what drew you to their film, and then ultimately like kind of what draws you to them as football players?
Absolutely. So, I don't know when about February, when was it? My son was born in March. So in March, I was like, I need to make my own ranking site. Like, because I'm looking at the On3 stuff. Like, I'm sick of seeing these because the rankings are based off your high school rankings. The high school rankings, like I know how it works. So the high school rankings, you get moved up and down based on how the writers, if they like you or not. So what that entails is, are you taking their calls for interviews all the time? And like they literally move you based off that. And those rankings translate to transfer portal rankings. I'm like, nobody is actually watching these transfer guys film and then ranking them, which is how it should be. Like you guys are going off, what you think. Like On3 ranks everybody instantly. You can't rank somebody instantly. You haven't watched them to be able to do that. So I was like,
crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I gotta change this. So I added some scouts and told them the criteria, what we're doing, and then we got to it watching film. So anybody that I saw his name pop up, one of me or one of my scouts were watching them. Stephen Daly, remember watching his film. Just man, so dominant at Kent State. And people always tell me, oh, you just like small school guys and they can't make it at the big level. I can see a player no matter where they are. I always say I'm a process guy, not a result guy. Like I can see a cornerback get caught on 10 times, but have perfect technique at the line of scrimmage. It's good downfield squeezing. It attacks the ball, but the receiver just makes plays. Versus there could be a cornerback that has 10 reps and doesn't give up a single catch, but he's opening the gate at the line of scrimmage. He's out of position and he's just getting lucky, because if that out of the small database, it can look like that. But as you scale it, the guy who has the better process is going to have a lot more success. Mm-hmm. So at any level, I can look at a corner and see, all right, I know how guys are supposed to move because I did those movements. I know how you're supposed to be. And Stephen Daly, it was clear to me. And I saw someone under your post show his On3 ranking. He was like the 84th edge in the portal. 83 edges better than him, and now he has 13 and a half TFLs.
No shot. There's 83 guys better than that dude.
At all. And it's because they either don't watch film or don't understand what they're watching. So love what he did at Kent State. And the other thing on our website, on Bips List, every player that's graded has a scouting report. So as we're watching, we put notes exactly what we're watching on, the name of the scout, and then sometimes we'll even put the cut up film there as well, just so we really watch these guys. We're not just making stuff up. Hosea Wheeler was really looking in the portal for some D tackles for Colorado at the time. Saw him, loved his film, loved his versatility, being able to he can play one technique all the way out to 5 technique. And
dude, when you had his Alabama like his tape going through it with him, that was some of the freakiest stuff. I was like, please, Coach Haynes, be watching this stuff, please.
Yeah. And it's funny because I had tweeted about him, and then he had DM'd me and said, appreciate you, and he said he was going on a visit to, it was an SEC school in Indiana. And I was like, please go to Indiana, please. I was messaging him. I messaged D'Angelo. I was like, hey, we need this guy. So when he ended up going, that was awesome. Stephen Daly, I had broke down his film and everything before he was even going to Indiana as well. Khalil Benson was a guy that Colorado fans really didn't like.
Yeah.
He's been a right tackle his whole career. Colorado puts him at right guard. And then during the season, there was times where he played right tackle to start the game and then move him to right guard. You can't do that. As a DB, it is extremely difficult to move from nickel to cornerback in the same game. I've been watching film for this slot receiver. everything I've been doing is to play here, and it's a completely different game playing in the slot versus playing outside. Same thing with right guard and right tackle. You're asking two completely different things. You've been watching completely different film. You've been mentally preparing for something completely different. So he had some confidence issues and struggled, but they mainly played him at right guard. And I did a film breakdown live where somebody was talking about how trash he is. I said, yeah, come on stage and we're going to watch every single clip from the game. There is not a cut up. We're watching clip by clip, and you explain to me where it's negative. And then we took a tally. And at the end, he was like, oh, I guess you're right. I know because I'm watching this film. So was really excited to see him go back to Indiana, earn the starting job, and now he's having a great year. Had probably his roughest game last week. He apologized to me. He had that game when I came out. He was really excited that I came out, but love Khalil. Ball player. Only thing that he has to be more consistent is his confidence. Like when he's confident, nobody can mess with him, and he's great in the run game as well. And
dude, he's so athletic. Watching that kid pass set is impressive. Super impressive.
And super strong. Great on double teams. Great moving guys. Lewis Moore is the funny one. So D'Angelo Pond's dad, Angelo, me and him are real close. Harassing me to watch all their transfers. So I get some free time and I'm like, okay, let me go through some of these transfers. I see Lewis Moore, Ole Miss, and saw he had some decent stats. Turned his tape on, and I said, who is this? Because this was, I probably didn't watch him till like maybe May or June. And I'm like, you guys snuck this one in because I've heard nobody talk about Lewis Moore. And he wasn't even a full-time starter at Ole Miss. And I'm like, look at this film. Like, especially I played corners, nickel, safety, I played it all. But I know as a safety, when you're doing your job, a lot of times when you're doing your job as a safety, it never shows up in the stat column. So there's so many plays that I understand that he's taking away, causing the quarterback to look elsewhere, causing the quarterback to pull it down. But the average fan and most people don't recognize that. So I was able to see the things he was doing, able to see he's a sure tackler, one of the best open field tacklers I've ever watched.
Best on the team for sure.
Yeah, not even fantastic. Close. And I love the way he plays the game. Incredibly smart football player. You can tell he watches film, and it shows by how he plays. So I went on a limb with him. Said he was a 5-star. Put him as a 5-star. Put Stephen Daly as a 5-star. D'Angelo Pons as a 6-star. And Lewis Moore has been Senior Bowl Player of the Week. We named him to our midseason All-American team. I mean, these guys just make me look like a genius. Like I'm loving it. I'm loving it,
dude. And the fact that like they all happen to end up at Indiana, and it's like not like it's not a coincidence that all these guys are attracted to this coaching staff, right? Mm-hmm. And they want to be a part of this culture. But it's like it is funny to like that you end up essentially becoming an Indiana fan because you're saying like all these dudes are good because I watched their film, and then there's just people who haven't trying to tell you you're wrong.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know who else watches a lot of film? It's Kirk Cignetti. So he probably knows who all these guys are coming in. So you got some competition in terms of film room hours. For sure.
Yeah. I would love to be locked in the film room with him. Oh my gosh. And Angelo Pons actually told me that Cignetti has seen my breakdown D'Angelo and was like, hey, he really knows ball. I was like, man, that's dope.
That's cool. That is a hell of a stamp of approval.
Yeah.
So obviously you were just out there. You were in the crowd. It was cool to see you interacting with the guys, and like for like me as somebody who follows this stuff and like I'm on Twitter all the time, it's like to see those like in-person moments is awesome. So but you saw a game that was harder than most Indiana fans were thinking it was going to be. That Wisconsin defense was flying around, but it was still a dominant performance. What was your biggest takeaway from watching this team play live?
I think this game, Iowa, not really Penn State, kind of. They have to get away from slow starts like that. It worked against Iowa, worked against Wisconsin. That's not going to work against Ohio State. It's not going to work, as the competition gets better. What I love about the team is the resilience. Penn State, Iowa, with like those same games, how they're able to fight back. One of the favorite things I heard is Fernando Mendoza throws a pick six against Oregon, and Cignetti says, "Are you having fun?" And he said, "Yes." And he said, "Let's have fun then." Like, you know how psycho you have to be to say that to your quarterback after a pick six in the biggest game of your career, and that's what good coaching is. One of the favorite things that I learned about Cignetti, that I became an Indiana fan last year at Nebraska versus Nebraska. I was there for that game, and I got more insight into who Cignetti is. I'm the ultimate competitor, like a super competitor. I don't know if you guys know Myers-Briggs, but I'm an INTJ. Like I
am also INTJ.
Really? Yeah. So I'm
there's not a lot of us.
No, there's not. And Cignetti, Nebraska drove into the red zone. It's fourth quarter. Starters have been out for multiple series. Nebraska gets into the red zone. Cignetti takes the backups out, puts all the starting defense in just so that they wouldn't let Nebraska score. That's my type of guy, like mentality-wise. And as a player, you love to play for a coach like that, that has that dog and just has that we're going to win and dominate. But one of my favorite things about him is if you watch during timeouts, you rarely ever see him in the offensive huddle or the defensive huddle. And he said, if I have to be involved, that means I didn't hire the right guys. He doesn't micromanage, at least from what I can see from the outside and what I've heard from the inside. Like, he allows his coaches to coach because he trusts them, because he vetted them and hired them. So now he knows he has the right guys. And I think that's really important as a head coach, is knowing it's a fine line when you have to be involved and when you have to delegate. And it's funny, I heard him say that a lot of calls that he's questioned from the offensive coordinator end up being touchdowns and big plays. And he's like, oh, well, it did work. And that shows, the trust that he has. So a guy like him, who left being the wide receiver coach for Julio Jones at Alabama, where everyone knows Alabama assistants get huge jobs after, left to become the head coach at a D2 school, IUP, and built his own legacy. And that's what you see from the team. You see that resilience. You see that never quit. Even when, like, Penn State, I thought it was over. Fernando got sacked on 1st and 10, made it 2nd and 17. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this.
The crowd's getting into it.
Yeah.
Man.
It was a scary moment.
Super scary. The next play, he hits Omar Cooper.
Crazy.
And that's the mentality of the team. So there's things to clean up, obviously, and that's with any team at this point. But they always find a way to win. And that's what, Indiana fans should definitely be the most proud of and the most excited about.
Hell yeah. I love it. I kind of want to ask you about a couple players specifically that I haven't seen you break down. Have you gotten a chance to watch much of Amari Farrell? And if so, what are your thoughts?
I haven't watched him like just to watch him. I've watched him as a whole of the defense. He's definitely a ball hawk, really solid tackler. He struggles with eye discipline at times, and that gets him in trouble. The Oregon touchdown, deep ball up the middle. The Illinois touchdown, where it was cover 3. They had an over route. On the over route was supposed to go to D'Angelo on the opposite side of the field. Then Farrell was supposed to go take the post up the seam. That's a common thing that you do versus over routes in cover 3. And that ended up being a bust. So there's things that he needs to clean up with eye discipline, because when you're that middle of the field guy, I talked about on Lewis Moore's breakdown, you are the last line of defense. You have to be the eraser of big plays. Keep everything in front of you. You have to get the guy down. So that's something that he can improve on for sure. But he's a ball magnet. Like, he is always around for interceptions, fumble recoveries. That's just what he does. And some guys just have that. Like, I never had that. I got unlimited pass deflections. Like, I wouldn't let you catch the ball, but I was not, always there for the interception. So he has a special talent for that.
Love that. And then what were your thoughts about Charlie Becker? Watching him go crazy again.
The Penn State was a shock. I never remember seeing him until Penn State. And he made big catch after big catch after big catch. there's so many times on film where he is killing DBs and he just doesn't get looked at on that play. He had Penn State's corners in hell. Like, I mean, hell. One of them was supposed to be a projected first rounder, AJ Harris. He's just flying by him. I saw somebody make the comparison. I think it's a perfect one. I'm not racist, but Alec Pierce is very.
He is 6'5".
Yeah,
speed.
Yeah, built the same, similar size. Like they're probably gonna run the same too.
Yeah, he can fly. So he's been extremely impressive in an already extremely impressive wide receiving core. And that's another thing, is a true next man up mentality. I hadn't seen anything from EJ Williams, and then he goes bananas. Hadn't seen anything from Charlie Becker, and then he goes bananas. Like, that's what good championship teams do.
Love it. Was there anybody who stuck out to you? Somebody who I don't want to necessarily say you weren't like paying attention to, but just, you're going in to watch your guy specifically, and did anybody kind of jump out?
I really like. There's two guys I really like, Landino and Tyreek Tucker. Like, I think those are really good guys in the interior. Oh, another guy balling, Elijah Hardy. He is a guy, man. Like, might be the best linebacking core in college football. Like Isaiah Jones, Elijah Hardy, Aiden Fisher. Elijah Hardy, I say, has stood out the most recently.
Brad, do you want
to? Elijah Hardy should be 99 in NCAA. I've been saying this since June. He just has this natural, like, he's everywhere. Like, he's always
exactly what you were just talking about. Like,
you don't have to be a film junkie to see it. Like, you just see guys. Like, I grew up a big UCLA fan. I remember watching Eric Kendricks, seeing that fluffy hair in the back, like around the helmet every single play. Elijah Hardy's the same way Micah McFadden was. And they just have that. As a linebacker, they just are there every single time. And it's just a little different. It's not like 40 speed or anything. They're just better at football than everyone else. That's
Eric Kendricks. I played against him in my first game. My first game at Nevada was against UCLA.
I was probably at that game.
Eric Kendricks and a guy that I was real good friends with, Miles Jack. Linebacker for UCLA. There's my best friend who lives in Bloomington. I'm his kid's goddad, and he coaches at Bloomington South right now. He was at Bloomington North last year and the year before. Fantastic coach. He was my middle linebacker in college, and he not a good tester, not super fast. He was like 5'11", 235, just a football player. Always in the backfield, TFLs, blown up blocks, just making plays. There's some guys that are just football players. Elijah Surratt's a good example. Not going to have an impressive combine. Doesn't matter. Football player. Like, you have guys that just have the natural instinct and understanding. And Aiden Fisher's another one that just all-in football player. Always has a good feel for the run game. When backs are going to cut back, like, it's a good football team, man. Good football.
It's that anticipation piece that's sometimes hard to notice on film because it's such an assignment-based sport. So it's like, when you see guys always making the plays, that's one of the clearer signs, honestly. Exactly. You're just watching a game and you just hear their name all the time. Like, oh, Elijah Hardy. Hear it over and over and over again. I think the guy is probably really good.
Yeah.
We talked about it briefly. You mentioned in terms of starting quickly that Indiana is going to need to do it when the competition ramps up. So I don't want to beat around the bush. I do want to get your opinion because you just watched Indiana play live. Big Ten championship games in 2 weeks. How do you see that game playing out?
I'll be honest, haven't watched too much Ohio State yet. I definitely will get to that. Now, what I have seen from them, because I watched Jeremiah Smith, I watched Carnell Tate, I watched a lot of those guys. I watched Arvell Reese because Ohio State fans were mad. I had Aiden Fisher over him.
Which was hilarious.
Yeah, and then Arvell Reese actually reached out to me, and he tried to bait me into a question. He was asking me what his responsibility was on the play that I posted. Wasn't too happy when I told him his exact responsibility. I told him, I said, hey, I'm not one of them. I inside and out, I know this game. You can go play with somebody else. And me and him had a conversation. That's people don't understand. Like I was a college, like I'm an alpha male. I ain't back down from nobody. That's not how I'm built. Ask Arvell Reese how that conversation went. You're not gonna I don't care who you are. So it's last year's game was disappointing because the game was not what the score said.
Mm-hmm.
It's the false start, which was really offsides by Ohio State on 31. The D line
talked about that.
Yeah, so that changes things. You don't get a first down there. I believe the punter got tackled or like fumbled the punt.
Fumbled the ball.
Fumbled the snap, and then he punted it the wrong direction.
Yeah, and then before half, they score when really you could have gone down and scored, went up at the half, and got the ball back at half. Then you come out the half, punt return touchdown. Like those people don't understand 14-point swings. So 14-point swing is a drive where you're going to score, but instead the other team scores from a big play like a punt return. That swings the game, monumentally. So that was a tough one. But knowing that staff and their mindset, I can't see that happening again. I just can't. Like Oregon really should have been a blowout. Same thing. There should have been a delay of games on the defense. They kept calling false starts, but really the defense was causing them by shifting late, which was supposed to be a point of emphasis this year with the refereeing. And along with that, man, they were holding the hell out of Surratt in like it was past
every time.
They on Becker too in that game.
Yeah, non-stop pass interference. Yeah, Becker's deep pass. Fernando underthrew it a little bit. Otherwise,
he did.
Touchdown. But it's PI everywhere, and it's not getting called. So for all those things to go against Indiana, and they still had a convincing win, that was like, okay, this is not the same team as last year. Because I don't know if Ohio State can beat Oregon, to be honest. So I expect it to be a dominant win.
I think the crowd noise had a lot to do with it, and the fact that Indiana's had not one, not two, but three opportunities to prove that they've been able to deal with crowd noise. And like, you'd have to look at this game differently if it was in the Horseshoe, but it's not. It's going to be played in Indianapolis. And
a home game.
Exactly. It should be a home game.
Let's make it 60-40.
Buckeyes travel well.
I'm asking for. I know Ohio State's deal. They're going to be going after tickets like mad dogs.
I'm sure.
That's how they roll.
Yeah.
So we got to step up, boys, out here.
Yeah, they will travel in force. I do want so I don't want to take up too much of your time. I did want to ask you. You did mention about you don't back down from really anybody. Anybody in your comment section can get it. It is hilarious watching people try and talk football with you, but they clearly don't know what they understand. So when did you start really kind of unloading the clip on people on Twitter and obviously it's got to be enjoyable for you because I get enjoyment out of it.
So that's how my Twitter grew so fast. So my first incident was last year with a guy on Twitter. He's a Twitter coach, has 40,000 followers, and all these coaches follow him and stuff. And we got an argument about cover 4, and it started at midnight. I'm too competitive. I'm not gonna let you get the last word. So I stayed up till 4 a.m. And we were getting into it, and then he ended up following me, saying that there's stuff he could learn from me, and then I got a bunch of followers from that, and then it just continued. And what people don't understand is so we have a Patreon for our fans and subscribers where I teach a ton of people football, people that have never played the game of football. We have a ton of women in our Patreon that learn the game and really understand the game. 99% better than these Twitter gremlins that you see. And there's nothing wrong with asking questions. I will never, be condescending to somebody asking a question, trying to learn about the game. But if you tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, that's when it's different, because I truly understand the game. And I say it's E for everyone. Coaches, in any coach, don't care. Players, it does not matter. I've dedicated too much of my life to this game, to understanding this game, for someone to try to test my knowledge and integrity. So yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot, but that's literally how I grew, my fan base, because people saw me never back down to these people and always beat them. So they're like, hey, he got to know what he's talking about. He's definitely not a fraud. Because every single time there's an altercation and they're talking football, I always come out on top. And that's because I just base everything off actual film. I don't make things up, or it's all film based. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
I was telling you, like, when I reached out, that like I can't remember if it was like the D'Angelo Pond stuff or it was like you clowning somebody for not knowing what a 2-eye was. And I was like, well, shit, I don't know what a 2-eye is. So let me hop in and watch some film. I'll learn some ball real quick.
Definitely. And yeah, that's funny. I got to put that on a t-shirt. But that's why I started asking people is what's a 2-eye? Because, and I don't mean to say this in, a crazy way, but it can. Everybody doesn't deserve to talk football with me. Like, as far as have an argument with me. Like, if you've never played and don't know what a 2-eye, like, why are we having an argument? It's
conceptually you're on different planets.
Exactly. So there's nothing for us, to talk about. Like, you have to tell me. That's what the Arvell Reese thing was. I posted a clip of him and said, "Oh, you Ohio State fans mad? Tell me what his responsibility is on this play." Zero people got it right. It had probably over 100,000 views. No Ohio State fan got it right. So Arvell Reese barely got it right.
Well, he didn't get it right in the play. He's following the running back.
Yeah, he's a funny one. He's a funny one. He was not happy that I was right. He was not happy.
That's too funny. All right, so what's next for Buffton Prime? I know it was the West Virginia breakdown dropped today.
Yep. So I think we just dropped the second part of that, Colorado versus West Virginia, and on our channel, man, you can watch any game. Like, we got a lot of Indiana fans joining our Patreon, which is awesome. So now we break down Indiana games. Now, they usually stay in Patreon for two reasons. One, Big Ten film. If you show the whole game, yeah, they're gonna block that video. The other reason is, unfortunately, I do see the game different, and I may point things out that there's a lot of colleges that follow me, so I never want to, show too much on film or say too much on film that another school might not see and might find out. Now, Colorado,
free knowledge. You're making me smarter.
Yeah, and I did the same thing with Colorado last year. I didn't post all 22 publicly, like the full game, but this year I have a point to prove, and I've been proving it weekly.
I love it. I absolutely love it. T-Cal, you got anything else you want to like say to the Indiana audience?
Man, just excited. It was awesome being up there. I love the passion of the fans. You can tell they have not won in a very long time, but everybody is excited. It seems like the whole city is excited. I had a chance to got to talk to Coach Rod, the corner coach, the second time I talked to him last year as well. He said he loves the work that I do, and it's an awesome staff, like everything. And I talked to the players, I talked to their parents. It's just the right culture. Really glad that they extended Signetti, because this is something special, man. It's everything that I stand for. Part of why I do BIPS list is to shine light on those that get overlooked, because they're not the tallest, they're not the biggest. They didn't have 5 stars in high school, but they can't be that voice for themselves. I can be that voice. That's why I go to battle for these guys. If you look under any of these posts, Colton Hood. So I mentor D'Angelo Ponds at Colton Hood at Tennessee. I said he was a 5-star in the transfer portal. Everybody, they was making fun of me. They're like, on what rankings? I said mine. Like, I stood on it. And now he's projected a first-round corner in every mock draft. And that was a corner who was playing behind somebody he shouldn't have been last year, couldn't voice for himself. So I'm that voice because I see what you're doing on film. So I really love being able to, give those players the credit they deserve and let them really be seen. And saying that D'Angelo Ponds is from James Madison, Aiden Fisher, Elijah Surratt's from St. Francis. Like, Signetti was able to get guys that nobody else wanted. And then go into Big Ten, which is, I think, now the best conference in football, and dominate. Like, that is who you have. And when you have a guy like that, is just going to win. You got guys like Dan Lanning, his first head coaching job was Oregon. He's never had to out-scheme every team he played because he didn't have the talent. Nettie was at IUP. Then James Madden, like, he's had to be better evaluating, had to be better recruiting, had to be better coaching, had to be better scheming. And that's why now on this platform, like, now he's starting to get higher recruits. That's going to get scary.
It's going to be a problem.
Yeah. Nobody wants
a serious problem.
Before he got to James Madison, nobody
wants until he gets all the guys everyone wants.
Yeah. Then it can get crazy. So it's cool seeing this now and knowing what's going to happen. And yeah, I'm so happy that I get to have a little part in it, as far as social media, the players that, I talk to and work with from time to time. And
dude, you're in it. You are in it, my friend. Like, full blown up. Like, obviously you're a fan of it, but like, you're an honorary Hoosier. Like, you're in it.
I appreciate that. Yeah, Angelo, he tells me that everywhere he goes, people are asking about me. He was like, man, you have a lot of support up here. He was like, you have no idea.
Dude, you could wear the cream and crimson. Nobody would think twice.
I love it, man. You see, I got my signed D'Angelo Pons jersey right there. But yeah, it's fun, man. I'm excited to see hopefully a national championship, which I said before the season. I told people that Indiana was going to be better this year than last year. Everyone said I was crazy, but we're seeing it now. They are clearly better than last year.
It's film over everything.
Yeah, we were saying it too over here too. Glad great minds think alike.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's reloading. That was huge. Like, Curtis Rourke was a baller and on a torn ACL. Then you get Mendoza. You had to replace CJ West. You get Hosea Wheeler. You had to replace guys on the edge. You get Stephen Daly. You get Kellen Wyatt.
Who was balling, dude.
Yeah, like, you get all the right pieces. You needed another safety. You bring Lewis Moore back. Like, it's impressive, man. It's impressive. And I wish Colorado did the same thing. It's frustrating for us, man. Like, we'll watch Colorado's film, and then sometimes I just got to throw Indiana's on just to get the bad taste out of my mouth. Like, I want good football, and that's what Indiana has.
Dude, absolutely love it. T-Cal, thank you so much for joining us. This was an honor. It was a pleasure. We'll do it again. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining the show.
Hey, man, I appreciate y'all having me on. Whenever y'all want me on, just let me know, and we'll be chopping it up some more. Absolutely. Appreciate it. Check out Buffton Prime. Check out BIP's list. Check them out on Patreon. They're doing all 22 breakdowns. Like, it's, if you want to get better at football, if you want to just understand the game better, if you want to just understand who are going to like actually be good and make an impact, and like, the dude's just, the guy knows ball. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, and it's really cool to see that all of the people he says are going to be good end up on Indiana's roster. Like, it's actually unreal. I'm going to hit him up after this, figure out where he gets film. That's what I need to do. But yeah, T-Cal is if you follow our show, if you followed me for a long period of time, you know how big of a fan I am of that guy. So yeah, I've been trying to get that one done for a while. Not that I have been reaching out for a long time, but just that one's been on the bucket list. So shout out to T-Cal. Shout out to Buffalo Prime. Yeah, just let him cook. Just greatness coming out, just spewing. He was a great guest. Well, it's like when somebody and it's like, I love that how confident he is in his own abilities, because the guy's resume has just been right so many times. But it's like when he's like, you have to have a certain level of understanding of the game, or like a conversation isn't worth it. Is like, he's right. So it's like, I'm not going to sit here and have a conversation with him. I'm going to listen to him speak and try and learn something. I love that Arvell Reese story. It was so good. That was a funny assignment. That's why he's an edge, not a stand-up linebacker, because it's a lot more simple at the edge. Look at the quarterback. Well, he's a free. It's like the Michael Parsons thing. It's like, if he's going to be a top 5 draft pick and be an edge, like, who cares if he's not the best middle of the field linebacker? But if it's like, again, if you're going to try and play like who's the better like technical linebacker between Arvell Reese and Aiden Fisher, like, play a different game. Like, what are we talking about? That's not to say that's not counting athletic ability. That's not counting like NFL draft stock. It's just like Aiden Fisher is a better middle linebacker. What do you like? I don't know. He says.